Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. Hey guys, welcome
Never
to it.
forget.
Yeah, I know. It's a little ridiculous. Welcome to another episode of Nightmare Road. I am one of your. Oh, and by the way, guys, if I look a little pale or a little sick, it's because I'm ugly. Anyways, another episode of Nightmare Road. I am one of your hosts, Decon, here with the very mysterious.
SOS. And I'm here with the dark and moody Haywire.
Hello.
And guess who we have tonight? Go ahead, Haywire, introduce him.
I was just gonna introduce Birdie. He's back.
Yeah.
Woo!
Dirty Birdie.
Dirty bird.
Well, what you got, bro? You got the dirty bird. I got that shit during spring break. You know, it's a new STD in town. Anyways, yeah. So how about we tell us what we're talking about today?
You know what we're talking about this time, and I'm looking forward to it. Are you guys still getting feedback from me?
Yeah.
I can't.
A little bit. I don't think it matters. Let's just go. Let's just roll.
How's that? Is that any better? No.
Well, I can hear your voice 2 times. So I mean, it's better for me because if I'm not paying attention, I'll be like, okay, that's what she said.
That's going to drive everybody nuts listening to this, though.
Yeah, no one's listening.
We are talking about dancing plagues.
Ooh, and Haywire's got it.
Yep. Immediately.
Okay, so can you what is the dancing plague?
Well, so throughout history, dancing plagues or dancing mania, right? They derive the term from something called choreomania, which is from the Greek chorus to dance, right? And mania, madness. So it was dancing plagues. Throughout centuries, this went on where people would dance themselves to death.
Just like me, I'm getting ready to. Somebody better shut this music off because I can't stop dancing.
So, the term was coined by Paracelsus. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Paracelsus. And the condition was initially considered a curse. So it was sent by a saint, usually Saint John the Baptist or Saint Vitus.
Saint Vitus.
Vitus. And it was known as the Saint Vitus dance or the Saint John's dance. And victims would dedicate their dances to the saints.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was considered the cure. Like, so it's like, well, if you start, oh man. So are we doing the dancing plague that started off in 1517 in France?
Well, the earliest known outbreak of dancing mania happened in the 7th century.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and it reappeared many times across Europe until about the 17th century when it just stopped. Like it just stopped.
Yeah.
Like never happened again, and at least it had not recorded.
Maybe
anywhere.
Not recorded, but I got it right now.
Yeah, no, right.
I'm gonna dance until I vomit.
So I think I did that a few times in the Navy. So
one of the earliest
known incidents. Well, of course, there was a lot of alcohol involved with that. So
getting honest.
One of the earliest known incidents occurred sometime around 1020 in Bernburg, where 18 peasants began singing and dancing around church, disturbing a Christmas Eve service. And they, so they just wouldn't stop. And then more and more outbreaks happened. So the 13th century, including one in 1237, in which a large group of children traveled from Erfurt to Arnstadt, about 12 miles, and they jumped and danced the whole way.
Yeah. Historically, a lot of people that was reported when people watched them dancing, yeah, for 12 miles, watched them dance until the kids collapsed. Some of them died from exhaustion. A lot of people believe that this was like the after effect of where the Pied Piper comes in. But that's another story that we should cover in the future, was the Pied Piper. So around that same time is when the great abandonment or the great abduction of the children happened. So a lot of people say that this could be like the same thing. Like the kids walked off and then people were just watching these kids just march, and dance like they were, part of a Richard Simmons video or something.
With
So
a
bizarre.
little pink and white shorts or whatever. Yeah, red and white shorts.
I would rock that.
I really liked Richard Simmons. Whatever happened to him?
I think there's actually I don't know if it's still popular, but there was a podcast that was called like "Where's Richard Simmons?" and I'm like, he just got tired of.
He like disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah, he retired. I think he got tired of making fat women cry.
No,
Yeah,
he
he
was so
retired, he's done.
motivational. I really liked him.
The
Huh?
what?
He retired. He's done.
Yeah,
He's,
but it was so
he's hanging out with me. He's over here. Say hi, Richard.
Wasn't there a lot of rumors that he was like missing?
Oh,
He was missing.
I thought you were gonna go the other direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something else. I was like, whoa. Oh, thanks.
No, he's like, there was some, I've been reading like all of this weird stuff on the internet, like he's missing, like disappeared,
Yeah.
gone, vanished.
I don't know. He's somewhere. Welcome to the Richard Simmons Hour, guys.
Yeah, well, anyway, okay,
Even
so
if he is bad, he's gone. He's probably in Mexico somewhere soaking up sun. Who cares?
he was tan.
So
Another incident in 1278 involved about 200 people dancing on a bridge over the river Meuse, resulting in the bridge's collapse. So, fun fact, did you know that you're not allowed to march over the Golden Gate Bridge because it would cause it to collapse? And also, they said if like a dog ran from end to end with nothing else going on, and it kept, or like a horse, or any motion where the motion stayed consistent, like the lope of a dog, and it stayed consistent, and never changed cadence, the bridge would start swinging so violently it would collapse. There you go. Fun fact.
That can't be true, is it? Well,
yeah, it's true. No, I read it in all this.
Really? Well,
yeah.
Well, I guess
support all the cars then.
There used to be a suspension bridge
Because
somewhere. They've got a film of it during a windstorm. You can watch it.
Yeah.
And then snap and break off.
It was built by a bunch of immigrants. Like, hey, Joey, look at all this old rebar. This bridge is gonna fall down. It's like, yeah, just throw it in there. Hey.
So, many of the survivors of the 200 the bridge collapse incident restored. You know, they became healthy again. Like whatever happened to them stopped, obviously, when they hit the water. But not everybody survived the bridge collapse. So
Mothman.
they found they went to a nearby chapel dedicated to Saint Vitus. And anyway, so that was one of the recorded plagues. And then there was another in 1373, and then again in 1374, with England and Germany, and then the Netherlands started coming into this mania as well. And so it's really odd, like what
it could be.
Yeah.
Well,
damn,
it's a lot of people attribute it to many different things. Like it's like, oh, it was the main story we're talking about today, the one in France. Yeah, I said it, France. I mean, I'm well cultured. France, you know, the one fromage, omelette du fromage. Anyways, so a lot of people are saying things like, well, you know, this was probably, you know, ergot poisoning, and they're like, well, that's not true because people that were coming into the town started dancing. But let's get into the story, guys.
It's nuts. It's nuts. So on June 24th, 1374, one of the biggest dancing outbreaks began in Aachen, spreading to other places like Cologne, Flanders, Franconia, Strasbourg, just Luxembourg. A whole bunch of cities got, like, it just started spreading.
Bergs, yeah.
So, and then further episodes occurred 1375, 1376, 1381, 1418 in Strasbourg, where people fasted for days, and the outbreak was possibly, they thought, maybe caused by exhaustion because of people fasting. That doesn't make any sense. People fast all the time and they're not dancing until they die.
Well, maybe
So,
you. Maybe
well,
you don't.
maybe.
I
Maybe
would.
you don't, bro.
Fast. Heck yeah.
So, so in another outbreak, 1428, a monk danced to death. Like he just started dancing and he danced to death.
Good.
In the same year, a group of women in Zurich were in another dancing frenzy. So, I mean, this is just bizarre. I started reading about, the main one that we're going to talk about. I started reading about that, but then it led me down the rabbit trail of
Yeah.
all of these really early ones. And
Yeah.
so another extensive outbreak occurred in 1518. It's in another one in Strasbourg. And then in this one, a woman began to dance in the street, and apparently she danced constantly for a week. Like,
Yeah.
for a week. And then dozens of other people joined in. By August, they called it the dancing plague, had claimed 400 people. Well, they say victims. I don't know if these people died or they just became part of the mania.
Yeah. Well, so the numbers varied with how many people died. Some sources will tell you that 60 people died. Others will tell you that up to 300. So it's just it varied. A lot of them also were counted that way because even after the dancing plague was over, a lot of the people were so like messed up that they died. Months later after the whole incident stopped. But back to that lady. I mean, did you read that? Where it said that nothing could keep her from dancing, not even her
Yeah.
husband yelling at her to get back in the house. And I'm like, yeah, damn it, woman,
Typical woman.
typical woman, get in here, devil woman. What are you doing out there dancing around? These dishes got to get done. But so,
Yeah.
but okay, yeah, SOS, come on, will you stop? Jeez, we're trying to have a productive show here. So, I
Uh-huh.
mean, what was nuts was that this small town was going through a lot of hardships, like before the dancing even began. I mean, they had the famines that was going on. Women were throwing their babies in the river so that the older children can have, because they were starving, so that the older
Oh,
children could have an opportunity to
right.
survive because they were starving to death. Um, a lot of theories of like we were talking about, like what started the dancing. A lot of them believe that it was a punishment from God, because of the way that the town was being operated. I mean, um, this era was really interesting because you had what was going on at that time historically. You had the printing press. The printing press was still hot, and everybody was writing everything. And then, literally 20 years beforehand, you had Martin Luther and his you know, telling people like the Catholic Church, they're not in control of the scriptures. So, and then he had the thesis that he put on the church. So he basically, once the scripture was translated, a lot of people started reading their Bibles. So the Catholics were no longer in charge because at the time, the Catholic Church said that they were the only bridge. They were what they call the Pontifex Maximus, which is like the ultimate bridge to God. And then when Martin Luther basically he started the Lutheran movement. He started the breakaway from the Catholic Church. He was basically saying everybody is entitled to salvation. So a lot of these people were downtrodden. A lot of these people were
Mm.
being abused by the system. They were being abused by the Catholic Church. When there was a time of famine, they had bishops, Catholic bishops, that they were living very well because even though the famine was still going on, they took the tithes. They were still taking tithes. They were still taking food. So they were living very well. They had their prostitutes, out in their little areas. So what ended up happening was there was a couple of Christian pastors and Christian ministers. You laughed. There's a couple of Christian pastors and Christian ministers, And they were the ones that were saying, like, all right, you know what? This is not okay. People are starving and you're over here stuffing your faces. And then they started to inspire people. And then they had the very first peasant rebellion that occurred in 1516 was the very first rebellion that occurred. So they rebelled, and because people were still like very pious Catholics, they went to go, ask for prayers from the Catholic priest. Like, can you please pray? We're going to rebel. And then what did the Catholic priests do? They notified the monarchy. The monarchy came down. They brought armies, and it was squashed. So these people were going through such a hard time that when the dancing plague happened, and you look at their prior history, you're like, ooh, this could be that. I'll continue expanding on this as we go, but you're like, maybe this is divine punishment. But continue. Sorry, I kind of went on a tangent there.
Well, no one knows. Let me get back. Okay, so dancers were starting to collapse. This is still the one in Strasbourg. This is 1518. People are starting to collapse. They're actually dying from strokes and heart attacks because they danced for so many days. Like their bodies just couldn't physically carry on anymore, right? And let's see. Okay. So by early September, the outbreak began to kind of subside. So this went on. This started in July.
Yeah.
This is still going on in September. People are still dancing to death.
Yep.
And
so hot.
the dancers were sent to a mountain shrine to pray for absolution. So. Here's historical documents, including physician notes, cathedral sermons, local and regional chronicles, and even other notes like issued by the Strasbourg City Council, are clear that the victims danced. They didn't know why, and then it seemed like it was usually a single woman who started the outbreak.
Yep. Some woman, of course. Jeez, women.
Some hussy went out there and started dancing, and everybody joined in. So anyway,
man, it's so interesting because around that time, you had, people were dancing, and they were no longer working. So a lot of the main people that were panicking was the bishops, the Catholic bishops are saying like, man, we are not getting our food supply. We are not getting our money. What do we do? So they ended up hiring doctors to come into the region and start like, tell us, doctors, how can we stop this? And then these damn doctors. Okay. So sorry, before I go a little bit too far. So you had these Christians, and I don't mean Catholics, I mean legitimate Christians for all you Catholics out there. They were saying the problem here is,
the views of Deacon are not those.
It's a fact. So, anyways, so then they were Baptists. So then these Baptist ministers, they formed a council, which was called the Council of the 21, which basically were saying it's not just like the hierarchy. It's everybody has to get involved to figure out a solution. So they all get together. Now, all of a sudden, the powers were balanced. So what ended up happening was they get these Catholics are like, we need to stop this now. We're not getting anything done. People are not working. We're not getting money. So they hire these doctors. These doctors come in and they're studying these people, and they start like taking notes. And they start, actually, they're taking notes. They're watching the people. And they said, we got it. And what's the problem? Their blood is too hot. And they're like, what? Like, their blood is way too hot. That's why they're dancing. Well, what's the solution? And then they
keep them dry.
No, you would think, okay, the solution was more dancing. And it's like, what do you mean? And they're saying, if we continue to make them dance, all that heat is going to be expelled out of their body and they're going to stop. So they start hiring these professional dancers to come in and get the whole crowd going even more. So they start dancing. They bring a band. By the way, they bring this band. This band's playing music to like encourage them. They bring in these like, but then what happened was, as soon as they start bringing the what?
So it's actually Burning Man.
Yeah,
it's a big.
Yeah, it's Burning Man, only minus Cypress Hill and Snoop Dogg. Anyways, so and minus the stabbings. So they bring in these professional
Yeah.
they bring in these professional dancers, and then they're like, I don't know if this is working, and they're telling these guys, okay, you guys can stop, let's go. Now they can't stop, and now the band is dancing, the professional dancers are dancing. They brought in soldiers to make sure they don't stop dancing. So they were like basically like at sword point, like kind of aiming their swords at them, like you guys keep dancing. They start dancing, so they're like, what is going on? And they're trying to figure out what is happening because now everybody's dancing. All of a sudden, one of the one of the bishops, he's over there and he's gonna start these blessings. He's like, we need to stop. These people are demonically possessed, and then he starts dancing. So yeah, okay, continue. Sorry, I got a little bit too excited there and I got carried away.
You can't beat him, join him.
Exactly.
Right?
Beat him with a stick.
Unless you don't have a choice, because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
What's interesting is they started like refurbishing different halls to accommodate the dancing and the music. But then, like you said, that backfired. That backfired, and everybody's still dancing. So then they banned dancing.
Yeah, no more dancing.
No more dancing. But it backfired. Yeah. So and then
I'm sorry, bro. I'm trying to stop. But
Can you imagine coming up with that many moves? Like, what do you do after like 20 minutes? I have no idea.
Yeah, he's over there doing the Charleston. This guy's doing the electric boogaloo.
You see them all line dancing out there. Anyway,
break my heart. Where's this music coming from?
Right? Who is that awful singer singing that achy breaky thing?
Hey, how dare you?
Actually, he has a really good song about veterans. I will give him that one.
I
okay.
want to die of achy breaky heart syndrome. It's genetic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so those who danced were then ordered to go to the shrine of Saint Vitus, and they wore red shoes, and that had me wondering if that became the red shoes in The Wizard of Oz. Is that where they got the red shoes from?
No.
I like it.
You know how directors and writers and all that, they'll take snippets of stuff, and I'm like, red shoes? Dorothy had red shoes. Okay.
The red shoes came from Technicolor. The shoes were originally supposed to be emerald.
Weren't they gold
they're emerald. They lived in Emerald City, but because it wasn't picking up the green too well in Technicolor, they made them ruby. So, you know what? I like your theory much better. There's where it came from. The dancing plague. Jeez.
Ruined it all.
You heard it here
first. So then they wore red shoes that were sprinkled with holy water and had painted crosses on the tops and the soles. And then they had to hold small crosses in their hands and incense and do Latin incantations that were part of the ritual to try to cleanse them from the dancing plague. But it didn't work.
Well, no, that's what's interesting. Okay, so sorry, I'm such a dork when it comes to these kind of things. I'm sorry, guys. You know what? You guys continue. I'm leaving. So they're doing all these. So are you gonna? Damn it! See, I don't want to jump too ahead and then step up.
Don't jump too ahead because I'm going to Italy now.
Okay. Then if you're going to Italy, then I'll just continue what I'm saying. Okay, so then these people. It's not working. They're like, what is going on? So they're saying, well, God is punishing this town because it's so immoral and they have to do all these things. And then you have this guy, I forget the name of this preacher. He was a Christian preacher. He said, well, wait a minute, you're talking about purification. You Catholics are still stealing. You still have prostitutes. You're still getting drunk. And it's like, what are you talking about? And then finally, they forced these Catholic priests to get rid of their hookers and to stop sleeping with the nuns, because that was rampant. The priests were sleeping with the nuns, and they were throwing the babies down wells and into rivers and all kinds of stuff. Even to this day, you can still go to places in France where they have old catacombs that run underneath the Catholic churches. It's riddled with skeletons, baby skeletons.
Oh, I've seen pictures of the catacombs, and there's like tens of thousands of skeletons.
Yeah, skeletons. A lot of them are baby skeletons.
Yeah, it's very well known that if you're a Catholic priest in the Catholic Church back then, you were living large. You didn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, they don't think they're doing too bad today.
Yeah. Well,
Um.
so, anyways,
So
so get rid of your
anyway,
hookers.
so yeah. Anyway, then they go to Saxony. Hold on, I'm not in Italy yet. So they go to Saxony, where the dancing plague starts going through the 15th century. And in Saxony, they believed that it was actually a demonic possession that's taking over. They didn't, yeah. So they thought it was demons, right?
That's what I think.
Yeah. Haywire, if you want to jump in, do you want to jump in? I'd love
Oh
it.
no, you're good. You keep going.
Darn it. Okay. So, and then they go to Italy, and where a woman had been bitten by a tarantula, and the venom made her dance like she was convulsively dancing. So I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I'm thinking it looks like Napoleon Dynamite on the dance
That's what
floor.
I was gonna say. It's like convulsive dancing. That means she's a shitty dancer. I mean,
Right.
you know.
Or Elaine on Seinfeld was like the
Oh,
worst dancer.
yeah, that's one of the examples that I get. That so when we started this, and then like, get in here, woman, you're embarrassed, because that's what it said. She was embarrassing her husband. I imagine her just doing the Elaine dance. I'm like,
Really?
at that point, you got to divorce her if she's doing those dance moves in public.
Terrible.
Um,
So,
so, but very quickly, okay, so we're going back to France really quick. I'm sorry. So what happened was again, okay, so the Catholic priests don't want to get rid of their prostitutes, don't want to stop stealing, and they're saying this town is just way too filthy. So what are we gonna do? We have to get rid of anybody that drinks. We got to get rid of the homeless. We got to get rid of, and they're trying to kick everybody out. And then that forms another rebellion. These people are now rebelling again. So finally, and I don't know if that's ironic, but finally, once the priests are like, this is getting too difficult, we're leaving, the dancing began to subside. So a lot of people, their theory was that maybe this was a form of like mass protest, maybe to get the Catholics to release their stranglehold. Because it's like, yeah, look what you're doing. And we're not going to work. We're just going to dance. And it's 400 people. And imagine in a small town.
interesting that it was the Catholics, because now it's like, I remember in a lot of places I lived in the South, it was the Baptists that wouldn't let you dance. It wasn't the Catholics. It was the Baptists.
Well, it wasn't even about the dancing. The issue was that these people were not working. And if they're not,
yeah, I know, but I mean, now today they don't want you to dance. The Baptists in the South don't want you to dance. It's part of their. If you're a church member, you cannot dance.
Yeah, unless you're dancing. You're dancing a certain way where you're like 50 feet away, 50 feet
It's
apart.
written in their church stuff, like no dancing.
Which is ironic, because what does the Psalm say, that God favors those that dance in His name? Anyways, continue.
Well, yeah, I think dancing in the pews is a little different. So, anyway, back to the lady who was bitten by the tarantula. They said that the only way to cure the bite was to shimmy and have the right kind of music available. And so, at that time, that was the remedy for that tarantula bite. People would dance.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Anyway.
Man.
So then further incidents began happening in 16th century when the mania was at its peak, right? So we have 1536 in Basel, which is another group of children. Yeah. And then in 1551, just one guy started dancing, like just danced and danced and danced.
The mess.
And then we get to, let's see. Was that the last dancing? No. Oh. Okay. So I have more information. I started looking at more information on this tarantula bite.
Oh, geez.
This dancing plague tarantula bite in Italy, because it's just crazy. So now they don't know if it was a tarantula bite or a scorpion. Kind of makes sense that it was a scorpion bite, but there are venomous tarantulas. But so the earliest known outbreak of this dancing plague caused by a venomous bite was in the 13th century. And then they thought it was, if you danced to particular music, the venom would separate in the blood so that you could better, quicker, right? And so
I have a funny story in a minute.
so the affected people by the bite or the sting were joined by others to help them recover faster, and they would actually pretend sword fight and drink large amounts of wine, which
Yeah,
that doesn't sound too bad to me. And then they would jump in the sea.
I do that in the men's room.
I don't want to know. So they usually had
Look at Bertie. He's not amused.
headaches, trembling, twitching, and visions. It's venom. It's called venom working its way through your body.
So, all right. So when I was a kid, see, this is here we go. So when I was a kid, they taught you to always shake out your clothes because you live in the jungle. Shake out your clothes, always shake out your clothes. And I was putting on this shirt, this long sleeve. Was it a long? Yeah, it was a long sleeve shirt, and I didn't shake it out. And then all of a sudden, I feel this sting on my. Yes, I feel this sting on my forearm, and it went from my forearm immediately traveled up to my head, and I could feel my head just throbbing. And I take off the shirt, I shake it, and this scorpion comes out, and then just kind of like scatters away. So then one of my aunts starts yelling, "You have to stomp around and then jump and do all kinds of things." And I'm like, "Why?" She said, "So that the venom can run through your body, and then your body can get rid of it." So I'm over there like an idiot, stomping around and jumping. And I'm over there with a massive headache, and I'm dizzy and I'm lightheaded. Then I started vomiting.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the end of the story?
Yeah, dude, that's the end of the. No, I should have ended it better. Then I died.
Oh,
And then I just. R.I.P. No, I didn't even come back. I'm just gonna fade away because I was never really here.
Be a trip. I'd quit after that. Just watch Decon go. I was never here.
Goodbye,
Yeah,
guys.
okay.
Go, my children. My children, I have taught you everything that you need to learn. And I vanished. No, if I was a ghost, I would like to be an Antonio Banderas ghost. And then that way I'd be like, "Yes, my children, go ahead. Go. I taught you everything I need to know. Goodbye." And I just disappear. And it's like, what the hell was that? Was he Antonio Banderas this whole damn time?
Oh my God.
Antonio Banderas died from a scorpion sting?
Yeah, but which one though? Once upon a time in Mexico.
Yeah, that's a good movie, dude. He's like,
Yeah,
"Yes,
him. That'd be great.
they call me El Mariachi." That dude, man, that guy was so good looking back in the 90s that he can go up to any woman on the bus and be like, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I talk to you for 1 minute?" And they'll be like, "Yes, I would like to make love to you like a chicken." And then they'll be like, oh, yeah. And he's like, "Now join me. I am the Puss in Boots. Let's go." And then he leaves, and then he takes the woman away.
Fire's face.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. I'll be here all night. Is this thing on? Oh, dude, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So some of the people during this dancing mania throughout the centuries here, they danced until their ribs broke. They can you believe that? And some of them actually paraded around naked. Some of them did
What they do?
adult things with each other on the streets.
What do you mean?
I'm not going there. And then some of them made obscene gestures. So it wasn't all just dancing here.
You had to be there in Ogden.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my God. So so then there's some. I was reading about all of these theories, like what happened here. The dancing manias actually did happen, but like you said, there's doubt on how many people actually died. But people did die. They figure probably around a couple of hundred people probably died.
Yeah.
This was right after like the Black Death and a lot of plagues that we're
Yeah.
going through, right? And so, was it stress induced, like psychosis? Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing that you can look at is in a lot of these cases, there was never a town that was well off, and then the dancing started. A lot of these people, man, they were going through some shit. I mean, the guy that started dancing like out of nowhere, like in Germany, that guy has lost his whole family to a plague. I mean, it wasn't like this guy was a to do man. All of a sudden, he just started dancing. Like, no, this guy was, lost his whole family, was so heavily in debt, started dancing, so a lot of it could be, a mental breakdown of some kind, maybe. Actually, you know what? I go back to it. It was all demonic. The demons did it. So dancing.
Well,
Well,
that's
when
the
you were
theory,
first
right?
talking about it, I was thinking like it was ergot poisoning of some kind, or something in the water, or maybe well, neurological disorder or something to that effect. But for a whole group to get a neurological disorder is bizarre. It would never happen.
Hey, Dirty Bird, can you move your mic a little bit because I'm getting a weird buzzing noise when you talk?
Yeah.
I just,
Thanks.
I just have a buzz. Period.
I can tell you do. So, okay, so ergot poisoning, it was blamed for like the Salem witch trials originally, right? But the Salem witch trials is a completely different thing. That had
Political,
nothing
yeah.
to do. It was all BS and how people wanted to take other people's property and money and kill people they didn't like, right? So that's all really all that was.
And
But
and actually, a lot of insanity was like when somebody, geez, and so the whole Salem witch trial, they're saying like, oh, it was ergo poisoning and all that kind of stuff. The reason why they said that is because it was already written down in the old medical book. So a lot of people, if you look at people that there's a great book out there. It's called The Sons of Cain, and it's like basically like about like every murder from the beginning of time, basically like everything that's recorded. So a lot of people around that area, when they would go into murder sprees and they would start killing people, they would blame the poisoning. Oh, I had some bad wheat that had a fungus in it, because it was known that this could cause it. So it's like a cop out.
Well,
That's what I
yeah.
have.
So was this a psychological thing? Was this? I don't believe it's a poisoning because it happened for centuries,
Yeah.
and that's really specific to the
Yeah.
harvest. To get
Yeah.
ergot poisoning, that's specific to that harvest, unless you have the same conditions every single year for decades. But that's not really. I wouldn't think that's climatically possible at all.
Yeah.
Insect bites?
Huh?
Insect bites? That,
All of them?
like you put a bunch of kids in a orphanage that has, I don't know, bed bugs
Like
with
bed bugs.
yeah, so with some kind of nasty stuff and bites them, could set it off, but all at the same time. Yeah, I contradict myself a lot. So
Yeah. Did they check the cast of Magic Mike for any type of bug bites?
I'm not looking into that. No.
Anyway, I thought this was an interesting topic. I really liked it. I just think it's fascinating that people actually dance themselves to death.
Oh yeah. Hot. That's how I want to go. I want to
So,
dance myself to death.
yeah, I don't know.
Just want.
Anyway, you think it's time for the Roadkill Crew segment?
Roadkill Crew segment. We should have a song like "It is time for the Roadkill Crew segment." Doo-doo. I'm gonna dance till I die. Oh, oh, oh.
Okay, so Haywire, what do you got for us tonight?
I don't know. Do we want to lose our faith in humanity, or do we want to talk about dead bodies?
Oh,
I was like, what do you guys want?
I'll take the losing faith in humanity for 500.
Losing faith?
Okay.
Is that how everybody feels?
That's fine.
Okay. Well, So there's a new TikTok trend, which we love, where people are eating deep fried toothpicks, and you can watch many tutorials on how to properly season them. They're apparently very crunchy, and many health organizations are now coming out saying do not eat deep fried toothpicks.
What the hell is wrong with people?
Don't tell me how to live my life.
No. As soon as you said TikTok trend, I'm like, what?
What
what is it this time?
These are the geniuses that survived Tide Pods, so now they're doing.
Are we eating?
It's a new era.
The gutter and deep fry. Are we eating mud out of the gutter now? Is that the new TikTok trend?
Deep fried toothpicks. That sounds delicious.
You know what? Let's make $1 million, and I got a whole bunch of road apples out there of various sizes. We could deep fry those and show people eating them. I'm not eating them.
I'll eat them. I'll eat them and I'll dance till I die, baby.
Yeah, the damn thing sounds like a bad TikTok trend in history.
Yeah. Oh
my God. Toothpicks, though.
Oh, yeah, they literally went viral.
Yeah. It's the aliens. They took TikTok back.
The aliens. You mean the damn Chinese?
Yeah. Telling you. All right, Dirty Bird, what do you got for us today?
I got something that Colleen has never heard about, and that is called the Battle of Los Angeles. Yes.
The Battle of Los Angeles?
Oh, I know.
Yep, the Battle of Los Angeles. And it's also known as the Great Los Angeles Air Raid. It was a rumored attack on the continental United States by Japan during the 24th of February and the 25th of February, 1942, over Los Angeles, California. The incident occurred less than 3 months after the U.S. entered World War II. In response to Pearl Harbor.
So wait a minute, this isn't a UFO?
What is?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Well, okay. So they don't call it a UFO, Birdie. It was.
They don't know what it is.
They don't know what it was.
Yeah,
they were afraid that it was an enemy craft, but a lot of people that were so some people that were there, they claimed to be there. They were saying that there was these bright lights in the sky, and because Pearl Harbor had happened, they're like, unload on them, and they brought out their M42s and they just unleashed, and their 50 cals, and the boats pulled up, and the boats are firing at these lights. People are firing rockets. People are firing. Yeah, it was nuts.
So keep reading, Dirty Bird. I want.
Oh, geez.
During this time, Japan was experimenting with artillery, I guess, but they would send over weird craft just in the air, and it would float from Japan over the queue through California. And they were experimenting with things like balloon bombs and bat bombs, which would fly over here.
Bat bombs?
Yeah, bat bombs. Literal bombs attached to a bat.
Bat bombs.
And they
Warner's against the Joker.
Anyway, they would fly over here, drop down, blow up, and try and
little bat.
Yeah,
right. It's not right.
You think your bat bombs can stop me? Good luck. I was born of bat bombs and alien invasions.
You just adopted the alien. I was born from it. Whatever it was.
You just adopted the darkness. I was born from it. When it came to the light, I was blinded from it. Anyways, I'm done. What am I doing? Why am I even... What the hell? Jeez. I need to slow down on this. I need to drink some Gatorade. I need to get my life together.
Wait, John? Are we done, or do you still have more to go there?
Yeah, I think Decon stole my thunder, but that's all right.
Oh, Decon!
Now I have no story, and my feelings are hurt.
Yeah, so Yeah, it's just thinking what
No,
happened something
no.
over the city.
Dirty
Hey,
bird, don't go. Come to me. Come to me.
So,
No.
if you hang on to the show this long, folks, then we really appreciate it.
You guys gotta stay
We
for
hope
the.
you like and subscribe, but at this point, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm just
like
not
and
sure.
subscribe, and I'll reveal a really deep secret.
Oh God. Oh God.
Okay, remember, guys, to like and subscribe. And here's a big secret. Dirty bird, I've been your father all along. Isn't it wonderful?
That's weird.
That's
Because he's been gone for a long time, and I know where he's at.
I've never left. I was been watching you from afar to see what kind of man you grew up to be, and you have made me proud.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just I don't
don't know what's happening anymore.
I need to get my life together.
Obviously, what are you drinking?
Hmm?
What
This
are you
is
drinking?
spiked Jamaican me happy.
Oh boy.
This is my third one.
Yeah, I can tell. All right, everybody. We hope that you liked this episode of Nightmare Road. Do you want to close it?
Yeah. I'm very sad. No. Guys, thanks for joining us. This episode was fantastic. I'm a little bit off the rails. I'm sorry. I got a little bit of dancing plague. But, I mean, we have a great crew here that I'm very proud of. And I would march in a battle with you guys any day. We have the wonderful SOS, the very beautiful Dirty Birdie, and the very chaotic Haywire. And remember, guys, I'm sorry, like and subscribe, spread the word, tell your friends, tell your grandmother. You know, if you have a grandmother out there that just talks to herself like she's Don Quixote, tell her about the show. And remember, guys, to always look both ways, especially if you find yourselves on Nightmare Road.